Welcome everybody to today's yoga class where our theme is curiosity. A lot of times when we end up in pain, we tend to have the same thought patterns over and over about places in our body. Like, it hurts every time I bend forwards, or yeah, my knee just can't do that position, or no, last time I did that, it really bothered my wrist, so I'm just going to lay off. And while sometimes these thoughts certainly are protective, other times these thoughts are learned thought patterns or associations in our brains that simply aren't true anymore. Sometimes a physical therapist or a pain diagnostic specialist can help us realize that those things aren't true anymore. Perhaps you've gone through that experience. If not, you can be your own detective today. So the only goal of class is to remain curious. This will be a shorter yoga flow, and you will begin simply by closing your eyes and getting curious about your breath. Maybe you're used to closing your eyes and really starting to take deep breaths out because it feels like that's what you need when you close your eyes, a little relaxation. Maybe you're suddenly aware of where your breath travels in your body. Maybe you forget whether you actually breathe out of your nose or your mouth. Whatever thoughts come up when you turn and listen to your breath, just watch them. Be a little curious about them. It's like you're moving from the seat of constantly analyzing what's going on inside of you to just watching it unfold a little bit. Just like you're watching a movie inside of your body. Where does my mind like to go? Where does my breath like to go? And then stating an intention for yourself for this class. I am staying curious. Saying that to yourself out loud. I am staying curious. Coming into a seat if you're not there already. If you have thoughts about coming into a seat like, oh no, that's dangerous, or oh no, I can't sit on my knees, maybe question them a little bit. Find a different seat than you're used to. Maybe cross your legs the other way. And begin by inhaling, just lifting your chest, looking up. Exhaling, just curling in on yourself into a little seated cat-cow. Inhaling, expanding through the chest. Exhaling, curling the chest, belly button towards the back of your spine. This is the simple movement from where we start. The invitation to get curious. Maybe you move your ribs around in circles. What would it be like if you took a little stuck area in your body and just allowed that area to move you here? For me right now, it's my left rib. Maybe it just moves my left arm. Maybe I hold into that area and take a few more breaths in there, just exploring. Like coming up on some abandoned island and taking steps slowly, curiously, with wonder. What island inside your body is there to be explored right now? Taking a few last breaths, just exploring the movement of your ribs with your breath in this position. And then make your way onto all fours. Again, notice, is there something you know where you feel like you have to do with your mat or your wrist when you go on all fours? Maybe you listen to that. Maybe you change it up. And take your knees wider than you're used to. And just take a few wags of your tail side to side. Maybe your head wags too. Noticing any sensations coming up in your body. Noticing any sensations coming up in your mind. And just allowing them to be there. Being curious about them. Like you're watching kids play around on a playground. Finding cat-cow on hands and knees here. Basic movement is to inhale, extend, expand the spine, looking forwards or up. And exhale, curl everything in and under, spine to the sky. You can stay curious just in this movement. Maybe you walk one hand and one knee forwards a little bit and try a cat-cow in this position. Does that change input to your body or your mind here? What thoughts come up and are they true? And what if they weren't? If you've stepped one hand and one foot forward, step the next one forwards. Kind of like you're in a little crawling cat-cow here. And again, find some movement in your spine. Maybe you take a few rolls with your head or your ribs or your hips. It doesn't matter what you do. It just matters how you do it. What pressure do you put on yourself as you move? And is it necessary? What do you notice about how you talk to yourself in the empty spaces? And then find a child's pose. Knees can be wide or together. Notice which choice you make. And just be curious about it. Notice if your body is scared of the opposite choice. So for me, sometimes I'm scared of having my knees together. Why don't I try it today? And see how it feels in my body today. Do I just expect it to feel bad or does it actually feel bad? Whatever the answer is to that, just notice. Just be a little curious. Saying to yourself one more time your intention for the day. I am staying curious. And coming back onto all fours. Make your way to a downward facing dog. We're not going to stay here. We're just going to walk our feet up to the front of our mat. Feeling the sensation in the back of your thighs as you come towards a forward fold. And take a little bounce here. Maybe nodding your head. No, I don't want to be curious. Maybe nodding your head. Yes, okay. I will feel sensations and I will look at them in different ways. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Using your breath, rise up to stand on an inhale. Exhale your hands down through your heart. We'll take a few half sun salutations here today. Inhaling, arms rise up overhead. Exhale, fold forward, whichever way feels best to you. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, rise up to stand. Exhale, palms to your heart. So just like that, about 5, 6 more times. Goal again is not to remember what I just told you. It's simply to curiously watch your mind interact with your body. Inhaling, arms rise up. Exhale, we fold forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, come up to stand. Exhale, palms to your heart. I'll guide this last one, then 3 on your own. Inhale, arms rise up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Rising to stand, arms raise up to the sky. Exhaling, hands to your heart. Taking a few on your own here. Skipping steps that you can't remember. Interacting with how your body feels about forward folding. Is there anything you do automatically, like bending your knees or forcing yourself further? And how do these patterns come up in you? Do you want them to stay? You can decide that here today. If you interact with a different thought while you move, do the sensations in your body change? What would it be like to do one round here, simply saying, I love myself? Do the backs of your legs feel different? Do your hips feel different? Finishing out your last round. Bring your feet together or hip distance apart, doesn't really matter. And bend your knees, chair pose, Utkatasana. Everybody's favorite, least favorite pose here. We're going to stay with sensation as it arises. Totally safe pose here. Doesn't really matter where our knees are, doesn't really matter where our back is. What matters is how we talk to ourselves here and what we listen to. So notice as your body starts activating, different areas of your body start speaking out to you, how do you respond? Can you press feet into the floor? Can you tuck or release tailbone? Can you increase or decrease breath and find changes in your body? Watching how things ripple through you, just like waves of an ocean crashing on the sand. Noticing how your body is just the sum of sensations. Being curious about what thoughts come up right now, like, oh my gosh, is Tara ever going to get us out of this chair pose? Exhaling, forward fold. Step your right foot back for a low lunge. Hands can be on the front thigh if the ground's not accessible for you. Noticing how your feet interact with your mat. Can you press them apart? Can you press them together? And taking a little notice now of what thoughts come up when you engage muscles in your body. Do you engage muscles out of fear? Out of having somebody told you, gosh, you must drag your right heel forwards in order to protect your low back? What stories of safety live in your body here? And what would happen if you just didn't listen to them? What might happen if you actually interacted with your body in a different way? Like pushing your feet apart from each other instead of dragging them together. Does that change what happens for you here? Whenever you're ready, coming back to a plank pose. Knees can be down, knees up, doesn't matter. Inhaling here. Exhale, lower all the way down to the ground. You could take knees, chest, chin too. Hands lift, roll the shoulder blades back and down. Cobra Pose can be a pain-provoking pose for people. Notice, how do I feel about going into a back bend here? Say, hello feeling, I see you. And then press feet down, lift up. Yeah, and hold here for 3 breaths. Is your sensation fixed or can it change if you change your thought here or change how your muscles press down? Or change if you drop your jaw a little bit? What goes into the sensations you feel in your body besides what you're used to? Exhale, lower down, coming back through all fours. Downward facing dog, 3 breaths in down dog, maybe 5. Exploring. Maybe walking your feet back and forth. Down dog's not accessible. You could always be on all fours and wag your tail. Playing around with what you expect to feel. Is there anything else here? With a nice, no big deal quality, step your right foot forward, low lunge. Again, hands can come to front thigh or the ground. I'm finding somewhere now that you feel joy in your body. Where does joy live inside of you? For me right now, it's my right big toe. It is a joyous place. And isn't it curious that there are more sensations than maybe we noticed in our body? What happens if you relax your tummy here? Relax your bum? What happens if you actually engage all your muscles and lift up? How do different things send different inputs to your brain? And what do you want to keep? Exhaling, step forwards, Uttanasana, forward fold. Grab opposite elbows. Knees can be bent or straight. And just take an easy sway side to side here. And imagining that out the crown of your head is all the thoughts you've ever held about your body. Just allowing them to get stirred up. Imagining your arms here are stirring a big pot of everything you've ever believed about yourself. Not that any of it's wrong, but sometimes it just needs to get stirred up. Releasing the arms, inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold back forwards. Rise to stand, arms circle to the sky. Exhaling, hands through your heart. Step right foot back, coming into warrior two. Setting up feet however you like here. And I'm going to ask you to just close your eyes if that's safe for you here. Not able to see what your body looks like. See what your body feels like. Is there anything you're expecting to feel here? Like, oh gosh, whenever I turn my head to the left, there's pain. Is there anything else that you're not feeling here? Like, wow, my right big toe is still so joyous. Or gosh, if I just exhale a little bit more, I don't really even feel that in my neck anymore. How curious is that? Or wow, yeah, I guess it's just muscle activation. Inhale, rise to stand. Turn the left toes in, hands down towards your sides. Heels come in. Bend your knees for goddess pose. Arms rise up to a V. Learning to just observe our thoughts with curiosity. Like watching kids play. Like watching waves on sand. What will they do next? And isn't that curious? Exhaling, hands down to your sides. Rise back on up. Warrior two to the back of our mat. Maybe arms come to a T. Maybe you want to bring them somewhere else, like giving yourself a hug here in this position. Putting one arm behind your head, one on your hip. Be curious about the position of your arms, the sensation in your body, and find what it feels like you need here. Straightening right leg, turn your right toes in, and then take a nice dive down to the front of your mat. Step back for a plank pose, breathing in. Exhale, lower all the way down. Inhale, Cobra Pose, like no big deal. Yep, I've been here before. Exhale, release. Rolling over onto your back. Bringing your left knee in towards your chest. Taking a few rolls of your ankle here in one direction. In the other direction. And then straightening your leg towards the sky. Noticing, is there pressure on yourself to make it all the way straight? Is there pressure on yourself not to straighten it? Did somebody tell you that was bad? What would it feel like to accept that whatever position your body takes in this pose is completely safe, okay, and maybe even healthy for you? How would that feel to embody that in your body? Instead of judging what comes up in the back of our leg, to just say, I'm staying curious. That doesn't mean not changing something. It just means changing our reaction to something. Bend your knee in towards your chest. Cross your left leg across the body, coming into a spinal twist. With a no big deal quality. Noticing where breath fills your body, where it doesn't. Noticing thoughts that come up around sensations you feel in your body. For instance, I feel a little pinch in the front of my left hip here. Instead of thinking, oh my God, that's it, it's my labrum. Maybe I think, that's so curious. What happens if I press my leg up into my hand? Oh yeah, I don't feel that anymore. Huh. Just exploring with your body. What would it be like not to ring the alarm on ourselves so much, but instead become a fun friend, adventure, playmate for our bodies, curiosity captain? Now bring your leg back to the middle, switching sides however you like. Right knee comes in towards the chest again, just rolling out the ankle. Maybe writing the word curious with your ankle. Who was it that taught us to interpret certain things as bad and dangerous and fearful in our bodies? And were they once just sensations? Were they once just okay? And straightening leg up towards the sky. Again, switching from that judgment, fear mindset to curious. That doesn't mean putting yourself in a position that really does feel harmful for you and forcing yourself through it. Back off a little bit. Find where it feels tolerable or curious and start there. Bending your knee back in towards your chest. Cross your leg across the body, coming into a spinal twist. Watching sensations play out in your body like on a movie screen. Again, I really want to reiterate that doesn't mean forcing your body into places that feel dangerous. It means being somewhere and being curious. So maybe you back off a little bit if it feels dangerous. You press your leg into your hand differently. You press your body into the ground differently. You send a little bit of different nervous system input and you notice what happens. Are things as fixed as you thought they were? Or can you see a little wiggle room? And can that little wiggle room maybe be a crack in a door? And can that crack in the door maybe be a doorway opening? Coming back onto your back. Phew, pardon me. Releasing your right leg down to the ground. And taking any last pose for you that's calling out, that feels curious. Maybe it's something that's caused you difficulty before. Maybe it's something you really love. Wherever you go, can you bring your curious heart with you? Can you question sensations as they arise? Like, gosh, that is so interesting. That's what you're telling me, body. How did that get there? Wow. Whenever you're ready, find a final resting pose. Maybe it's Shavasana on your back. Maybe you stay in a curious position for yourself. And again, we watch our breath flow through our body. We watch a river flow downstream. We watch our thoughts come up in our mind. Like we watch clouds pass through a sky. All just phenomena happening. Instead of sitting in a hypervigilant or a scared or a dangerous place watching all these, can we sit in the happy seat of curiosity? You're welcome to stay here as long as you like. May the curious body in you see the curious body in everybody else. Namaste.